welcome to Tarot with Tanya, and Happy New Year. Our reading, our 7 cards for 7 days, begins with January 2nd, which of course is a Monday, and we go to the next Sunday, the 8th. And as always, I hope there's something here that really helps you, resonates for you, helps you feel grounded, supported. And there's a real theme this week of pairings. You've probably noticed, I love numerology, and when I added up all the cards, I was noticing already there was a 2 dominance going on, and then when I added all the cards together, it ended up in a 2 as well. So there's obviously a theme about pairings. Pillars, we'll see those. That comes up in one of the cards today, is one of the majors. So there's a lot of energy, I feel, that could facilitate really good communication, or at least getting clear on a situation with another person. 2's love, balance. I'm a 2. That's one of my numbers, strong numbers, and we like peace. We like quiet. We like for things to go smoothly and for people to get along. So there's a real harmony kind of energy with that as well. So I would say that that's what is dominating for this week. And then we begin on Monday, the 2nd, and the moon is in Taurus. So there's a really nice symmetry in the reading this week as well. We have the Empress, a great card to represent Taurus on the feminine side. It is an earth sign. This is an earth goddess, the Empress. She's all about the bounty, the kind of abundance that makes us feel good inside our bodies and leaves us feeling like we can share generously with others. There can be a dark side to the Empress. She is a 3. I wanted to mention that too. And 3s, they like harmony, creativity, harmony, again, abundance. So there are those energies. A little bit on the dark side can be, if that were to come up for you, sort of the negative aspect of the great goddess, which can be too consuming, almost controlling in its bounty, maybe a sense of too much, of excess. So that would be the darker side, but hopefully we experience that wonderful blessing of prosperity and feeling good as our week starts in this new year. Then on Tuesday, we start that 2 thing. So here's the first 2 that arrives for this week, and that is the High Priestess. So we've moved from the Empress on Monday to the High Priestess on Tuesday, and I think it was the same last week. We have 4 majors in general, so there's that 2 times 2 kind of energy as well. So here's where the pillars come in. They're very, very subtle. I'm going to bring it in closer for you. You can just see the outlines of them on either edge of the card. And her arms are contained, kind of circumscribed by those pillars as well. And the High Priestess brings down the esoteric information, and that can be like secrets also in a more mundane sense, but things that we don't know. How can they be brought into a kind of existence? And one of the things the High Priestess is charged with is putting that into a code, putting it into a language that others can follow. So I would say for most of us, that means really, really, really listen to your intuitive self on Tuesday particularly. The dark side of that one can be feeling like, I don't know what's going on, a little bit of a connection to the moon there, but it tends to be, with the moon, it can feel so distant in a way and so encompassing. I think with the High Priestess, a little bit more like, I know kind of what's going on here, but I don't have that full picture yet, so I need that deeper insight. Then when we get to Wednesday, we have the only card that I think is much of a challenge this week, and it's about anxiety. It's called Strife in this Thoth deck. I forgot to mention that's one I'm using. And you often see depictions of this as five people sort of going at it. There's that, as I mentioned, anxiety kind of energy. And it can be an unfamiliar situation and what causes some tension. One of the ways I try to handle that is to say, is this a kind of excitement that I'm experiencing? Turning it from um, that worry or fear or feeling like, I'm not in my body, I'm not grounded, I'm not right in the moment. So turn the energy, into the moment. Again, it's a 5, it's going to be connected to the Hierophant, which is an inner spiritual teacher. So whatever it is, just try to relax about it and know that this too shall pass. It's a minor, so it passes fairly quickly, and it is just part of our human condition. We learn certain lessons, and that, can be a lot of self-soothing. How do we self-soothe in a healthy way? We continue our 2 theme when we get to Thursday. This time with the 2 of Cups. I think one of the most beautiful cards in this deck. I love the way the waters are flowing. There's the connection of, I think they call them dolphins. They certainly don't look like that to me, but whatever. They're some lovely sea creature there. So there's the abundance of the feeling that flows between 2 people. It could even be 2 parts of the self. The 1 of Cups, I really believe, is self-love. It can also indicate love for another or offering your heart. And here the 2 have come together. And that might, again, be an internal thing where you learn to consciously appreciate yourself or, like I said, with another person. But it's a loving, flowing, harmonious energy. And hopefully we can allow ourselves to experience that and to feel like we deserve it and enjoy it. When we get to Friday, we have another minor, and this is the 4. So there's that 2 times 2 energy as well again. This is a very solid card. You can see that. It's almost like we are looking down, having a bird's eye view on a fortress here, a very earthy fortress. That can represent the self. It can represent digging in our heels, being stubborn about something. I don't always see that as a negative. There's sometimes we need to do that. We don't want to be in resistance, but we want to be firm sometimes. That's what's necessary in a situation. One of the ways to work with this energy too is to go to the very center of the self, or perhaps to the very center of a situation, and meditate there. Still the mind, still the self, those little agitations, all those little to-do lists, and the voices that tell us, we're not doing enough, we should do more, or we're not doing the right thing, or whatever it might be, just to get quiet and sit inside of this, which is a safe place. So that's very nice, grounded, earthy. Again, it's a pentacle or a disc, earth energy, and that is for our Friday. When we get to Saturday, the 2s continue. And this time with the Judgment card. It's the number 20. So in the tarot, it's also a companion then through numerology with the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, the next card too that we're going to have is also connected to these, and then all of the minor 2. So of course that includes the 2 of Cups as well. So our 2 energy, our peacefulness, our bringing down information, that continues. And on Saturday with the Judgment card, there's a resurrection sense connected to this one. Here we see it in Egyptian symbolism. You have Horus inside, I believe it's supposed to be Osiris here. And, Horus was born of Isis and Osiris, and he was that new energy. His father was essentially killed by his own brother, and then his wife, sister. It's a very incestuous tale. Isis resurrects him, and down to the phallus, and conceives Horus from that. And so there is a very strong sense of resurrection. And for us, I feel like it's the new year. And what do we want to bring into that new year? I mean, this is the next to the last of the majors in the cycle. It starts with the Fool, it ends with the World or the Universe card, and then this is the one right before that. So what do we need to bring back to life? What do we want to let go, let remain buried, let compost, turn to fertilizer? And then what is it that we want to carry forward into this new year? And what parts of ourselves may have been sort of hidden away? I'm getting this image of like a bunker, like we felt like we had to put ourselves in a bunker to protect our more vulnerable emotional selves, our more spiritual, insightful selves, the parts of us that perhaps are very creative and don't necessarily fit into, expectations of society or those around us. Bring those forward, nurture them, love them, let them be a part of who you really are. And I love the Wiccan creed of do as you will and harm none. So I think this is a good card for that kind of energy. When we get to our next Sunday, the 2s continue with the 11 in the majors, and here it's called Lust. This can vary in decks. Sometimes Strength, which is another name for this one, is put in number 8, so there can be a switch up in that regard, but in the thought deck, this is the number 11, so in numerology, a 2. So you can see why that theme is dominant this time. And in this one, and I'm going to bring it a little closer because it's a sort of gnarly little, not little, giant beast this woman is riding. And she has been able to make her peace with those demons. And generally we think of them as inner demons. And it is not that they are to be exterminated, because they give beautiful qualities to us as well. That can be where our strength comes from. The parts of ourselves that we don't deem acceptable to others. And again, we don't harm others. That's not the point here. But it is to love even those more challenging parts of the self. And, they can be called the shadow in Jungian terms. So from that shadow self, what do we bring forward that makes us a more whole person, that makes us a stronger person, a wiser person? And I want to, call your attention too to the way that she is tilted back and her beautiful hair flows into this, right into the tail of this rather lion-like, hybrid creature. And then she holds up this beautiful chalice of, I would say, light, fire, wisdom, passion that occurs for us when we're able to accept those other parts of ourselves, to embrace them, to love them, and so forth. So lots of balance for our week, lots of finding that inner peace and loving the self, nurturing the self, and resetting the energy for this new year, 2023. Hard to believe we're here. But I feel it's going to be more power to the people, that there's going to be more cohesion, that some of the deep rifts, they're going to be there, and there will be, I'm sure, some arguments over those things. But at the same time, I think events will happen that will bring us more into understanding that we need to work together. We need to put aside our differences and find those places that are helpful. So, I think I mentioned we start in that Taurus moon on the Empress. This is great for that energy. And then when we end next Sunday, we are in the Leo moon. So this is a great Leo card as well. Even the colors, it's a fire sign. So all that fiery passion is there. So I feel like the cards are taking care of us. They're giving us a heads up for what's coming up. And then I also drew, and I want to finish with this today, an oracle card from my winged enchantment deck. And what came up was the crane. They number these cards, and it's mostly an alphabetical thing, but I do like the number 6, which I tend to say often, connected to the lovers, connected to lots of good energies in life, 6s. So, the crane. Here, this artist has depicted all of the birds as, I'm going to just bring it in closer so maybe you can see that there's a woman there as well, and then you have one more lifelike crane, and I think this is a depiction perhaps of a great blue heron, and then maybe an egret type, and more in spirit above that. So for crane, here's the description. I am crane, the moment of true awareness. I am lasting peace. I am still water. I am unparalleled focus. I can stand alone longer than anyone, waiting for destiny to unfold at my feet. I love that part. I think that's very important for this year. I never miss a ripple in the water, nor do I dwell on those that have already passed. You must also learn to allow your future to find you in the perfect moment. Be at peace now. Be silent. Your mind is too busy. Your focus too shifty. Your spirit like a restless dream. Gather your visions and retreat, giving them time to restore. Allow the chaos around you to be what it needs to be without pulling you into its vortex. I implore you to be still. Find your highest mountain. Climb your tallest plateau. Wait for the ripple to come to you, then make your move. You are active awareness. You are present in the moment. You are mindful. You are crane. And that follows on a beautiful conversation I had with one of my dearest friends in life. And it is a great time to reset, work with the energy, imagine a beautiful year for yourself and those you love, and for all of us, really. So, beloveds, I hope in some ways that helps. I'm going to put a video out soon, too, that explains a little bit more about what a reading might be like, because it dawned on me the other day, a lot of people probably haven't experienced that. So, you know, it's a big unknown for many, so I'll try to cover some of that mystery, unveil that a bit. Until I see you next time, beloveds, I hope all is well and beautiful in your lives this week.